so good. Use it as a sauce for sandwiches. You can just guzzle it. Just make this, snort it. You're gonna want to. Hi, it's Jules from The Vegan Dollar, and I'm so excited to welcome you into my new apartment, my new kitchen. Now I am ready to go to bring you some more cheap, easy vegan food recipes. This is one of my favorite go-to recipes, and it was long before I was ever vegan, because people don't often think of it as a vegan recipe. It's just delicious. Peanut sauce. Peanut sauce is the bomb. Peanut sauce doesn't even have to be peanut sauce. That's how cool it is. You can substitute the peanut butter with any seed or nut butter and it still works. You can freeze it, you can make it ahead of time, you can eat it cold, you can eat it hot, you can slap that shiz on anything. You can even bring it, and I can tell you this from experience, on a 2-night backpacking trip, unrefrigerated, then bring it home, stick it in the freezer, enjoy it weeks later. It's just as good. One of the other things I love about peanut sauce is that you don't need any special tools. You see this Vitamix blender before you, but I promise you, you can use any kind of blender, or just make sure your water is warm, whisk it in a bowl, and that should get it blended. Or you can put it in a little saucepan on the stove and simmer it to get it nice and blended. But that's it. Peanut sauce, I think, intimidates a lot of people, and it really shouldn't. It's basically 4 ingredients, and from there you can play around. So I'm going to give you a starting point. I'll link the recipe below, and after that initial experiment with it, if you've never made it before, play around and I'll give you some ideas. So 4 basic ingredients. Those 4 ingredients are soy sauce. If you're going gluten-free, feel free to use tamari or low sodium soy sauce. Agave. Some recipes might call for honey, but us vegans who don't eat honey go for the agave. Agave is a little bit sweeter than honey, so just keep that in mind if you're used to cooking with honey. And peanut butter. You can use any kind of peanut butter, salted, even chunky. I've used it, it all works. And then some water. And you basically blend that together. You use a ratio of equal parts peanut butter and water to half parts soy sauce and agave. That might sound a little bit complicated, but let's say 1 cup of peanut butter, 1 cup of water means half a cup of agave, half a cup of soy sauce. If you like it a little sweet, add more agave. If you like it saltier, add soy sauce. Start with that basic ratio and then you can tinker. If you like it a little thinner, you can add more water, so on and so forth. Okay, I'm trying to get a hold of myself. It's been a little while since I've made this and it is so good. So I blended up those 4 basic ingredients, our water, soy sauce, peanut butter, and agave. Mine is a little runny. I'm going to try to show you here because I used a little bit extra water, because what happens with peanut sauce is that it thickens up. If you pop this in the fridge, you'll probably be quite shocked by how much it thickens up. But this is another thing that's totally based on your preference. If you're going to pour this over something that has a lot of water, like tofu or stir-fry vegetables, you might want it to be a little bit thicker, because that water from your vegetables, let's say, is going to make it runnier. And if it gets, you don't want it too soupy and runny, I wouldn't think. So the other key ingredients to what I think make the best peanut sauce: ginger and garlic. You can totally use powdered ginger and garlic if you're pressed for time. I love using fresh. Even if you have a high-speed blender, you don't even have to mince or chop it up ahead of time. I like a good large clove of raw garlic and probably a tablespoon or 2 of fresh ginger. If you're using dried, start with a teaspoon of each and see what you think. You can keep adding more. Then for some zing, you can use anything: cayenne pepper, hot sauce. I prefer crushed red pepper. I toss some of that in there. Then there's this little thing I pick up at Trader Joe's called coconut aminos. I think it tastes like a less salty, sweeter soy sauce, so I add it to stuff like this all the time, or marinades and things. Totally can skip this. Some people like to put a teaspoon or a tablespoon of rice vinegar into their peanut sauce. That can add a little bit more depth of flavor. I usually skip that because I never seem to have rice vinegar on hand. The other thing I usually always put in my peanut sauce that I love, but Trader Joe's didn't have it yesterday, is fresh cilantro, probably like a quarter cup if you're doing a cup of peanut butter. And you can blend that in and it'll make the color a little funky because it adds this like weirdish green tint, but it tastes so good. And if you're looking to make this maybe more like a Thai peanut sauce that you've had at a restaurant, you can add a little bit of coconut milk to this, maybe half a can if you're using that cup of peanut butter ratio, and about a tablespoon of tomato paste. Those two flavors really get you more into that Thai peanut satay sauce that you might have tasted. And really, it just is that simple. Aside from chopping up the garlic and ginger, this whole thing, you can whip it up in a matter of minutes. If you are really pressed, you can just use peanut butter and water and maybe some crushed red pepper and salt and stir that up, and you might find that that's all you really need to do for a peanut sauce that you like. So have fun trying this out. I'm going to show you how I am about to enjoy it. So here is my favorite thing to put beneath peanut sauce. I've got some couscous, any grain will do, some stir-fry vegetables, and some tofu cutlets that I marinated and baked. You can totally phone it in with any of these things if you like the sound of that. Couscous, so cheap and easy to make. Stir-fry vegetables, just buy a bag of frozen stir-fry vegetables. You can buy packages of already marinated tofu and slather peanut sauce all over it. You can put this over any kind of noodle. Even just regular old 80-cent angel hair pasta is one of my favorites with some frozen edamame on top. Done. Done. If you liked what you saw today, please hit like, subscribe, let me know how it's going for you in the kitchen, and I'll be back soon with another cheap and easy vegan food recipe. Bye! That's how I feel about peanut sauce.